Hello and welcome. It's so great to see you both again, Bernie and Jim, and both of you are looking very good.
Thank you very
So,
much. You
You.
too.
thank you. Very excited for RAADfest. It's really only another few days until we meet all again and in sunny California. So,
Yeah.
very, very soon.
It goes fast. It goes fast.
Yes, yes, for sure. So, and obviously, like most of the people in the longevity, or a lot of people in the longevity community know both of you. They know RAADfest, they know both of you. But for those of the people who have not heard about you yet, can you very briefly introduce yourself?
I'm Bernadeane Brown, and I'm co founder of People Unlimited, which is located in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I work with Jim. We've been working together for 50 some years. And I'm going to be at RAADfest. We're going to be there together and working together. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see everyone who can be there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm James Strole. I'm the director of the Coalition for Radical Life Extension that produces RADfest, and I'm also co-owner with Bernie with People Unlimited. So I'm very happy to be on this show with you today. Thank you for having us on.
It's very good to have you. So, obviously, like this year's topic is meet your future face to face. How did that topic come about?
Well, we all, I have a team of people here, and every year we actually contemplate and really try to get in touch with the most pertinent topic we want to really present at RADfest. And this year, actually, our communications director Joe Bardeen said, "Oh no, I apologize. He confirmed that, but it was actually Bill Falloon, the Life Attention Foundation, that was inspirational for that topic, because he said that look, people need to put a face to their longevity. They don't realize that by doing that, they are making human connections that they can't make on the internet. And from those connections comes a deeper collaboration. You're imprinting yourself in other people's, I'll say, consciousness. And then they want to also have you alive and they share information with you. And consequently, they keep in touch because they've made deeper connections and friendships. And so they share information more freely about staying alive and what to do and share their own experiences with each other. So it's just a deeper connection to be in person. And, we get, it's so easy, as you know, to go on, and I'm thankful for the video conferencing we can do and the internet, and it's great, but also it can't replace that real human contact. So that's what this year is about, having real human contact, and that's also why we're not doing a virtual offer for people this year, because we wanted to get there in person. We will be recording it so they can purchase the video later, but we need to be there live together, and this is a movement. It's not just another event. RADfest is about a movement of all of us together. So we all need to own it and work together. And also, I'm speaking, Bernie and I both, we think on quite a great topic. We call it, death means business. Do we mean business? And so it's kind of, we're wanting to, step up for all of us. All of us step up in more of a proactive way together.
Yes, because I've had challenges, especially this past year, and I need the communication with other people who have a desire. I have a desire to face my future. I'm looking at my future, and I've been here for 86 years. That's not near long enough to be alive, and so I'm really moving to have a future, and it takes in a lot. It takes in us all getting in contact with that it's possible to do this. It's possible to go past what has been programmed for the physical body. Exactly. And so we're bursting through some things that seem like impossible and making them possible. And so that's exciting to me, because my intentions are to be here. And it requires a lot. It's a responsible position to be in, and we need one another in a way that we've never needed one another before. There's a energy and a strength and a power that comes from togetherness with each other who have this same hunger and desire.
Yeah, beautiful.
And as a futurist myself who talks a lot about what we can expect from the future, I'm very curious to hear what excites you most about when you meet your future face to face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's so much, right? In that.
Yeah.
What do you want to go ahead?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, last night we had an amazing event here at People Unlimited, and one of our individuals stood up, and because we were asking that same question, what if you're going to live unlimited lifespan, what's your future? What would you like it to look like? And she said that she is excited about making more and more in-depth human contact throughout the world. And she also talked about she's excited the idea of going to other planets, but she said, let's not ruin this one. Let's not do it because we ruined this planet.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it because we're expanding a quality of life throughout the universe. But anyway, so obviously, space travel, that's exciting. But what we dismiss so often is that when we enter into unlimited lifespans, we enter into an era of I call creativity rather than survival. And we're making a deeper contact with ourselves then and one another and understanding ourselves better. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about more in-depth communication. And I call it communion with other human beings that really have a real passion for living and respect the human body like no one ever has before. And this is going to totally transform the planet because we're going to get into an era of creativity rather than survival that's kept us all in trauma and kept us from really knowing who we really are.
What about you, Bernie?
Well, I feel like everything Jim expressed here is amazing. I have a feeling that we're developing and we're expanding in a way physically, mentally, spiritually, that we never have before. And I think we need to bring that awareness to one another and let it be from a passion for each other. And that I really believe in us. I believe in we as a people. And I don't think people have been recognized or believed in enough or given their passion enough to one another to really feel the wondrousness of staying alive, first of all, because there has to be an excitement or that brings about a creativity of one's person. And I'm not doing all this on my own. I feel like this is going to be done and is being done by a body of people who are really connected and can feel we're going somewhere, that it's real. Longevity is great, but we know we don't want to just have longevity. So we want something more than longevity. But I think more than anything, to have this sweetness with one another.
Beautiful.
This understanding that comes with that. Excuse me. That takes us to a depth we never imagined.
Wow, that's right. That's right.
Well, it's interesting that you're, in a way, also just addressing the skeptics. So how do you ensure with RAADfest that the skeptics basically get satisfied in a way?
Oh, how do we satisfy skeptics? I'm not sure that's always possible, but you can satisfy them. It's the nature of the human being to be skeptical.
Right,
I mean, you look at any advancement throughout humankind, whether it was, the cars, the cell phone, you name it, there's always that tendency to be, critical, and nothing, in one sense, there's nothing wrong with that. They just don't, many times aren't, privy to what's really going on in the, for example, with the automobile. There was a lot of planning going on, for example, and there was a real need for a faster transportation, particularly, everywhere in the world, but in this country. And these guys answered that call, to create the automobile. But yes, they had a lot of skeptics and people saying, oh, we're supposed to have, they didn't want to get away from horse and buggy days. If we're supposed to travel that fast, God would have given us all wheels, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with flying, all these things. So really, the best way to answer a skeptic is get this information out we're doing, that show them behind the scenes what's happening, that there are new innovations and therapies right now. I mean, people are shocked when they come to RAADfest. They, oh, I never knew this was here. We had these were available. We had a guy call us recently. He can't make it this year. He's from Florida, but he said, wow, RAADfest saved my life. I learned a therapy there that I didn't even know about. My doctors didn't know about. Mm-hmm. And I learned it, and it has saved my life. I'm so grateful for you guys. I can't make it this year, but I'll be there next year. So this is something that we get quite a bit, and I'm sure you hear this at times, that people say, oh, wow, I didn't know this was available. My doctor didn't know about this. So that's the point, that these people that are skeptical many times just don't know that what is really there. They aren't privy to it. And unfortunately, that's, there's not enough of this conversation out there in the world, but that's what we want to do. We want to create a mass movement that spreads across the world, that gives people this opportunity to know this information. Then they will make a decision by themselves. I mean, if they still want to remain skeptics, they will. But most of the time they go, oh, wow, yeah, that paints a different picture. Wow, I could really live now with vitality and strength, and who knows how long I can go. So it's a beautiful thing to see that transformation, but it doesn't always happen.
True. But from my perspective, one of the really beautiful things that RAADfest does is you bring together really the science and the scientists with the people like us who are using it every day. So it's really a really broad spectrum. And for me, this is also way the science and seeing how it works for some of the people that for me has a great potential to convince many of the skeptics that we still see. But
yeah. Exactly.
Okay. And if you just you have 40, as far as I understand, you have 45 speakers, and if you look at the speakers and the topics that attendees will be able to enjoy at RAADfest, which one are you most proud of to present?
Now you're going to get us in trouble, Ines.
I know, it's really difficult.
well, really, we picked out a selection. I can honestly say that I'm excited to hear them all, because we took a lot. We had probably 2 or 3 times that number apply this year. We had a huge number of applications. Unfortunately, we had to turn a lot of people, really good people, down. But the ones we picked, I think when I went through their applications and then turned it over to the team that decides on this, our science team that helps me decide, we were all really, really, I'll say, excited about the different ones that are going to be here speaking, and they're all going to offer something very special. I'm happy to have, if you want to say from a perspective of, I'll say notoriety, I'm happy to have George Church on board because he's been doing some really brave work at Harvard, and with CRISPR and et cetera, et cetera. So he'll be interesting to hear. Unfortunately, he won't be there in person. He never travels anymore. He doesn't do live events. And of course, another notable person is Brian Johnson, who's recently come on the scene as the most measured man, biological measured man in the world now. And he's been able to reverse his aging. He's got data for that, and we'll see, by about 4.5 years. And he's also created a plan called Blueprint to help people if they want to follow that path. And so that's pretty darn exciting to hear what he's going to offer. He's quite generous on that level, from my experience. There's also Dr. Jeffrey Gladden, who's a new face on the scene, who actually has a clinic in Texas that's dedicated to getting people to reach 120, and he has a whole roadmap for that, an extraordinary plan that's working. He's already, he hasn't got anybody 120 yet because he just started the process here a few years ago. But he's turned his own health totally around. That's why he got into it. He was a heart doctor, a cardiologist, and then he went into holistic medicine. But he's got an amazing plan he'll be sharing. So I can just go on down the line, really. I think we're going to have the table's set full. We're going to have a feast.
It's great.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is people just have to come to RAADfest.
Yeah. RAADfest, it's transformational, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. And what about Raad City? I mean, Raad City, as you've already mentioned, in a way, is known for showing some innovations that people haven't seen. What is one thing that people have not seen before that will be at Raad City this year?
Well, I don't know how many people that, a lot of people, of course, in our network know about it, but maybe a lot of the new people won't. That's blood plasma exchange. They'll actually be able to do that right there in the exhibit hall, offering that. Plus, new, very highly discounted blood work now from Life Extension. And Life Extension now is involved in collecting all the data from these individuals so they can turn back around in next year and really be able to determine what works and what doesn't work. So this is a key thing for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. We can take a senolytic, or we can take NAD or exosomes, but how much have we really known that, people say, oh, I feel really great. We don't know how much of that is the placebo effect sometimes, or how much that is really, actually doing biological, work in our bodies, healing or whatever. And so this is great because this is new in the context that Bill Falloon is really dedicated now to getting that data so we can really determine those things. He himself, I don't know if you saw this, he posted his own blood work, on
I haven't seen this now.
Yeah, and sent it out. And because he's that transparent, I love it. But he was excited about it because he's been fighting a couple of different diseases himself for several years. And now his markers show that the blood markers are really good. And he says, I've been taking so many things, though, mm-hmm. I don't know really what did that or not, for sure. He said, I know all these things help for sure. But, that's why, too, he wants to keep the data and know for himself, too, and be able to share that. That's a powerful thing, I think. And he's very passionate about it, is sharing this information so he can help others for how he's benefited. Yeah. And that's what happens at RAADfest. We're all sharing this type of information mm-hmm. and what works and what doesn't. Because you want what works, right? and so to find that, so that's priceless information. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Raad City, it's all sold out, and we're going to have a whole array of different therapies and modalities that many of them new concepts coming out that I think people are going to really benefit. That's why we're keeping Raad City open an extra day on Sunday, so people can have. After the event's over, they can pick up what they need there and have the time to go through it, without being interrupted.
Yeah, no, it's very good to have an extra day there. So it's very good. Bernie, do you have any favorites there?
Any
Raad City?
Any modalities or anything?
Well, I can't say.
I think you've been interested in the gene therapy that Bill a lot.
Well, I'm interested.
Yeah, because that's been exciting. The idea of reversing, from the telomeres.
I have not been able to do some things that I would like to be. That they would say it's okay for me to do with my challenges and so forth. I'm having to maybe not do some things that other people can do. So I'm wanting to find out this year if I can like with a lot of things that are coming out. I want to check to see if I can participate, because I think these things that are, and especially, they've been proven with some people. So it's not like it's something we have to be careful. We don't know what it does.
Yeah,
we're realizing it does do amazing things. These things. Gene therapies and all of it, and I'm interested in being able to be a partaker of some of these things that I've withheld from because there wasn't a certainty about it for me. So
you can't, a breast cancer or any cancer patient can't take certain therapies yet because
Yeah.
not that even some of them would necessarily accelerate it, but there's unknowns about it.
Yeah.
And so she didn't want to do we didn't want to do anything that would be a risk from that accelerating the cancer growth. So that was smart. But she is looking at peptides now,
right,
quite a
I
bit.
am.
So and there's going to be
I'm really interested.
yeah,
in
and there's going to be
it.
one of the top people in the country talking about peptides. And,
Yeah. It's good.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And I mean, both of you as co-hosts, you are obviously like very, very intimately involved in RAADfest and putting it together and creating it, hosting it. What is the one thing each of you looks forward most each year, again and again?
Well, for me, usually, what is the thing we look most forward to at RAADfest? I'm always look forward to seeing the people again that all the friends and connections we've already made there, and then meeting new people. That's the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
And of course, already, I mean, sharing the, learning the new therapies and modalities and what's advanced this year compared to last year. I mean, that's always exciting. But really, I mean, we do this because we love the human contact. And we love to see people thrive,
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's above everything. It's the people.
Yeah.
We the people, moving together.
Yeah.
And getting in touch with all these wonderful things that science is offering. And of course, doctors and us as well. We offer something of the physical body that you don't get from the pill. And so I think we need to be felt in the body because there's an inspiration that comes with it. And we all need that inspiration. Wow. That really makes everything else work like it needs to work. This is what I feel.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Bernie and I have been talking about, you might have heard it some on some of our posts about, we've been talking a lot about what we call the immortal lineage.
Mm-hmm.
That it basically is the innate, ability, that innate call in our own bodies for unlimited lifespans. The immortality that's there, that's innate in our bodies. I share this with a lot of our scientists, and they, open up about the germline, the immortal germline, and et cetera, that's there, and that made a lot of sense to them. So we're exploring that more and more. Mm-hmm. It's a very powerful to get a hold of, because then when we receive that in our bodies, it gives us a platform of a greater resilience and strength that we're experiencing we've never had before, to realize that we are of that strand. We are to receive that, I'll say, genetic strand in our own bodies, takes us out of the mortality consciousness, and it brings about a strength in our mindset. And I'll say I think you used the word last night. I liked it. It's like you feel like you're chosen by that lineage.
Oh yeah.
You're chosen by that lineage to really live an unlimited lifespan. You don't anymore feel like you're out here, trying to I'll say again, the survival thing, try to struggle your way through everything.
Right.
If you don't get this modality, you don't get that, you're going to die, and the struggle itself can wear you out and take your life. And I've seen many people, this last 2 years through the pandemic, that were in the longevity community actually give up because they just felt too worn out. And they didn't feel they could make it. So they fundamentally lost heart. And I've had to, I spoke to many of them, and some of them turned around, but there's a lot of along with, I'll say, what we're feeling with great inspiration still in our bodies, there's a lot of people that have lost their inspiration and hope. Right. And this is why we want to move to even restore that at RAADfest more.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of there are also a lot of new people who are coming into the space who want to understand it more. Yeah. So that's also wonderful. So
it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Bernie, what is the thing that you're most looking forward to?
Well, I think I said it there, but I am looking forward to being with the people. And, I like it when we come together and we have many things to look at together, and some of us agree, some of us don't. And for me, it really doesn't matter. What we need to have that respect for one another. We're not always going to agree on every point. I mean, we've seen that, haven't we? Whether we like it or not, that's what happens. So, but there is something that transcends the disbelief, or the disbelief in one another, or the disbelief in the product. There is a feeling in the body and the passion
Wow.
that transcends everything that would take us apart from each other. And I think we really, as a people, have to get to the place where there's not anything that can separate us, that we've really become large people that we never thought we could be even. And that is really something, and I feel this has happened to me. I feel like somewhere along the way here, I have crossed over, that I don't have this like, criticizing somebody else because they don't see something. I have like an openness in my person that, these things happen, but let's move together. That will cover a multitude of sins or whatever could happen, and I want that.
Yeah.
I really want more than any. I want total health for everybody, for myself, but I want this feeling with one another that really is warming to the heart.
Yeah.
There has to be a warmth felt in all of this.
Exactly.
How special every person is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are, what they do, or but they're special.
That's right.
They're special. Nobody's like them. And how fortunate we are to find each other and to be able to have this holding.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, and I am experiencing that, and I'm so happy because I wasn't always like this, And so, I want to hear even things that I might question. I want to hear it because I don't know everything, but somebody else knows what I don't know. And so somebody else has experienced what I haven't experienced. And so that's how important they are to me.
That's right.
And so, and we, like I say, we all might not be able to do the same things always, but we have an opportunity to look at all of it and make a decision.
Yeah, that's it.
It's wonderful.
That's it.
Yeah, if you have one thought that you could share with women around the world about the future, what would that thought be?
Okay, one thought for women around the world.
One thought for women.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I really like women, and I think my feeling is I want to see women rise, wow, in their persons, without feeling like, oh, they can't do that because they're not supposed to, because they're a woman. It's amazing that we're transcending womanhood. I have a physical body like a woman, but there is something more than me manifesting a woman like women have been manifesting themselves for years. I have a different feeling about it. I feel like I am just as vital as the male, and I want women to feel how vital they are. Wow, around the world, and they can love the man for who he is and not be stopped though in their person to, is it okay that she moves out in a way that is unheard of for a female body? So these are things that I would like to see happen, where
Beautiful.
women go past their femalehood. Oh gosh, sometimes it's kind of disgusting, but that's the way we were raised, and so there is a stepping out of all of that female stuff that is so small when you come right down to it. It just, and I think it's exciting for a woman to get in touch with this.
That's beautiful.
That there's somebody special. They don't have to put on something, to be acceptable. Wow, they receive themselves just like they are. Beautiful. And it gives them the opportunity to open in a large way. Yeah.
Yeah, well said, Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bernie said it very well. The only thing I'd add to that is that everything we're talking about of this immortal lineage that's in all of us, male, female, is the equal playing field.
Mm-hmm.
It takes us out of it, like Bernie was saying, the male and female identities. And I like anybody. Look. There's a lot of huge. It's all over the world, but in some places of the world, there's huge suppression of the female. And I'd like if any of them hear this broadcast to know that there's that within them, that's that equal playing field that they can get in touch with, that no man or woman can take away from them.
Exactly.
That no person can make them feel less. It's that which they are in their own bodies, of that call for life in their own bodies, instead of identifying with having to be, like Bernie said, a stronger female or this or that. Feel the strength of this new immortal lineage in your body that's so much more powerful than what we've identified with as male or female. And so this is what we've been talking about a lot, and it's in all of us, and it's an equal playing field. So I like any person that's listening to this broadcast to feel like we're connected in that. We're all connected. So we're with you and supportive and moving with you in this new strength. And then we're strengthening each other to be, all of us, to be who we are in this world.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you so much.
I'm very much looking forward to RAADfest and to see everybody else, new and old faces.